application. I'm sharing my screen. Is my screen visible for everybody? Is my screen visible for everybody? Yes.
This meeting is being recorded.
Good evening, all of you. In the last session, we discussed about application environments. So for our project, developers will be available who are going to write the code in their laptops. Company will provide a laptop for every team member, a laptop or a system for every team member. So developers will do the coding in their laptop and they will do the testing in the laptop for the code, whatever they have implemented. Once that code is completed in their system, then they will push that code to Git repository. In the Git repository, branches will be available. So based on the given requirement, they will do the coding and they will push the code into repository. Then once the coding is completed by the developers, they will push it to repository, Git repository. Once the code is available in the Git repository, can we deploy that code into production directly? Once the coding is completed, can we deploy the code into production directly? Can we deploy the code into production directly? No, we cannot deploy the code into production directly. First, that code will be deployed into dev environment. Dev environment will be used by developers for integration testing. Every developer will test their code is working in the dev environment or not. They will do the testing in the local system. Only their code they are going to test. Once all the developers code is integrated, that final code will be deployed to dev environment. All developers will perform the testing in the dev environment. That is integration testing. Once the developer integration testing is completed, then we are going to deploy the code into SIT environment. SIT stands for System Integration Testing. Testers are going to test the application functionality in the SIT environment. Once the SIT environment testing completed, then project will be deployed into UAT environment. That is a client environment, user acceptance testing. Client also going to test our application. Once it is done, then project will be deployed into pilot environment. That is a pre-production. Pre-production. Okay. Then next one, prod environment will be available. Prod environment will be available. That is the final environment where our application deployment will be completed. So like this, for every project, multiple environments will be available to deploy our application. Like this, multiple environments will be available for our application to deploy. Okay. Multiple environments will be available for every application. Okay, what is the meaning of your environment, guys? So can you tell me what is the meaning of environment? What is the meaning of environment? Can anyone tell me? Environment nothing but a platform which is used to run our application. Environment means the platform which is used to run our application. In the real time, multiple environments will be available like a dev environment, SIT environment, UAT environment, pilot environment, prod environment. And we told that who will be using which environment. Okay. Now, in the real time, we need to, as a DevOps engineer, we need to set up this environment and we need to deploy our application. So first I will show you how to set up the environment to deploy our application manually. First I will show you how to do the deployment manually. Then I will show you how to automate that deployment by using Jenkins software. Okay. Now here guys, I want to deploy my application. In order to deploy my application, what I need is I need one computer. What I need to deploy my application? I need one computer to deploy one application. Now, I am going to take a machine. Now, if I have a computer, can I do the deployment directly? No. Now, what type of a project we want to deploy? We want to deploy Java web application. So to deploy the Java web application, we need one web server. To deploy the Java web application, we need one web server. So what is a web server available to deploy the Java applications? Apache Tomcat is the web server which is used to deploy our Java web applications. Okay. Now, first I am going to take one machine. In that machine, I am going to install web server. In that web server, I am going to deploy my application war file. Whatever the war file you have created for the Maven application, that war file we need to deploy inside the server. This is called as deployment process. Now, what is web server? To run the web applications, to run web applications, we need web server. To run web applications, we need web server. For Java web applications, for Java web applications, for Java web applications, we will use Tomcat as web server. There are so many web servers are available in the market. For Java web applications, we will use below servers. Below servers. What are the servers available? We have Apache Tomcat. We have Apache Tomcat, and we have JBoss. We have JBoss. We have WebLogic. We have WebLogic. We have WebSphere. WebSphere, Glassfish, etc. So to run the web applications, we need a server. To run web applications, we need a server. For Java web applications, we can use below servers. We can use below servers. What are the servers available for Java web application deployment? Apache Tomcat is available, JBoss is available, WebLogic available, WebSphere available, Glassfish available. For .NET applications, we will use IIS servers. For .NET applications, for .NET applications, we need to use IIS server provided by Microsoft. IIS server provided by Microsoft. Java servers are public. Now, .NET server is provided by Microsoft. .NET framework is given by Microsoft. To run the .NET applications, Microsoft only provided the server. That server is called as IIS server. To run the Java applications, we have multiple servers, guys. Apache Tomcat is available, JBoss available, WebLogic available, WebSphere available, Glassfish available. Okay, to run the web applications, we need a server. For Java web applications, we can use below servers. For .NET applications, we need to use IIS server provided by Microsoft. Now, JBoss is a open source. Apache Tomcat and JBoss are open source. WebLogic is given by Oracle company, Oracle WebLogic. WebSphere given by IBM company. WebSphere given by IBM company. So now, if you want to deploy a web application, first you need to understand that web application is developed by using which technology. Now you are a DevOps engineer, you are not going to write the code. You are a DevOps engineer, you are not going to write the code. Okay, but you need to set up the environment to deploy that application. So to deploy a web application, we need a web server. First of all, which web server we need to use? Which web server we need to use? You need to understand the project is developed by using which technology. If the project is developed by using Java, then you can use any one of these server to do the deployment. If the project is developed by using .NET, then you need to use this server. Okay, so today I'm going to tell you how to set up the Apache Tomcat server to deploy our Java web application. Guys, do you know how to deploy the Java web applications? Java web applications will be deployed in the form of jar file or war file. Java web applications will be deployed in the form of jar file or war file. Guys, come on. standalone application will be deployed in the form of jar file. Web applications will be deployed in the form of war file. Java web applications will be deployed in the form of war file. Okay. Now, in order to deploy the applications, I need a machine. In that machine, I'm going to install a web server. In that web server, I am going to deploy my application. Guys, tell me, nowadays, companies are going to purchase the machines, or companies are going to use the virtual machines from the cloud platform. Companies are going to purchase the machines to run the applications, or companies are using virtual machines to run the applications. Companies are using virtual machines to run the applications. Now, can I take one virtual machine from the AWS cloud to deploy my Java web application by using Tomcat server? Come on. Right. Now, for that, I have prepared some notes also, guys. For that, I have prepared some notes also. If you follow these notes, then you will be able to do the deployment of the application. I have prepared some notes also to work with the Apache Tomcat. Yeah, Apache Tomcat notes I have prepared. So by using this, you can deploy your Java web application. So today I'm going to tell you how to do the project deployment into Apache Tomcat server manually. Once we understand that manual process, then we can do the automation of the deployment by using Jenkins. First of all, Apache Tomcat. Apache is an organization which developed one server called Tomcat server. Apache Tomcat is a web server. Apache is the name of the organization. Tomcat is the name of the server. So it is called as Apache Tomcat server. Apache is the name of the organization. Tomcat is the name of the server. Apache Tomcat is a web server. Apache Tomcat is used to run Java web applications. Java web application we are going to run by using Apache Tomcat server. Apache Tomcat is free and open source. Apache Tomcat runs on 8080 port by default. Apache Tomcat runs on the port number 8080 by default. Working with Apache Tomcat in the Linux. Now, I want to download the Apache software, Apache Tomcat software in the Linux. You can do that download and installation both in the Windows operating system as well as in the Linux operating system. So to download the Apache Tomcat in the Windows, you can go to official website of Apache, Apache Tomcat. Apache Tomcat ORG is available. Here, Tomcat 8 version, Tomcat 9 version, Tomcat 10 version is also available. When you go for Tomcat 9, here zip file is available to download, tar file is also available to download. So you can use anything to download. Core software, binary distribution you have to download. When you click on the zip file, Apache Tomcat zip file got downloaded. Apache Tomcat zip file got downloaded. So when you extract that zip file, some folder structure will be available for the Tomcat. So let me show you the folder structure of the Apache Tomcat. Let me extract that, extract to Apache Tomcat. Okay, that zip file is downloaded. Now we have extracted that zip file, Apache Tomcat. Now you see Apache Tomcat folder created. When you go to this Apache Tomcat, you can see bin folder, conf folder, lib folder, logs folder, temp folder, web apps folder, work folder. Now we are going to download Apache Tomcat. We have downloaded Apache Tomcat. Apache Tomcat is a web server. Now download the Apache Tomcat server. Now you can see the folder structure. What are the folders available in Apache? Bin folder is available. Bin folder. It contains files to start and stop the server. It contains files to start and stop the server. Bin folder is available. Go to bin folder. Here you can see tomcat dot start shutdown startup.bat shutdown.bat. If you are using Windows operating system, then in the Windows operating system we are going to use bat files, guys. start.bat, and we can use shutdown.bat. If you are using Windows operating system, then to start Apache Tomcat, then we have startup.bat file and we have shutdown.bat file. It is used to start the Tomcat server in the Windows. It is used to stop the Tomcat server in the Windows. If you are going for Linux operating system, then we have startup.sh file and we have shutdown.sh file in the Linux operating system. Now, so if you are using the Tomcat in the Windows, then you to run the Tomcat server in the Windows, you need to execute startup.bat file. When you execute the startup.bat file, it is going to run the Tomcat server in the Windows machine. If you want to stop it, shutdown.bat file is available. Similarly, when you go for Linux operating system, in the Linux operating system, we are going to use sh file. Sh is nothing but a shell script file. Startup.sh, shutdown.sh, bin file. Conf folder contains configuration files. Conf folder, it contains configuration files, guys. I want to configure server port number, server.xml file will be available. Tomcat-users.xml file will be available. Right. If you go to conf folder, some configuration files are available. Server.xml, Tomcat users.xml, properties file, context.xml, like that some property files are available inside the conf folder. We are going to work with these two files, guys, today. Server.xml file, we are going to configure the Tomcat port number by using server.xml. We are going to configure users details in the tomcat-users.xml. Lib folder contains libraries, nothing but the jar files. It contains libraries, jars. Jars will be available in the lib folder. Now go to Tomcat lib folder. All the jar files which are required to run the Tomcat server, those jar files are available here. Lib folder contains libraries, nothing but jar files. Log folder contains a server log. What happened in the server, the log file will be created. Logs folder contains server logs. Logs. It contains server logs, nothing but execution details. How the server is getting executed, that will be generated as a log file. Those logs will be created inside the logs folder. Temp folder is available. Temporary data will be generated in the temp folder. We can delete that temp. It contains temporary data. Temporary, any temp data that is generated while starting the server, stopping the server, that data will be generated in the temp folder. And a very important thing is web apps folder. We will deploy WAR files in this folder. We will keep application WAR file in this folder. We are talking about application deployment. Application deployment is nothing but keeping the application WAR file inside the web apps folder. That is the main folder in the Tomcat. Web apps folder is available. Inside this web apps folder only, we are going to keep the application WAR file. That is called application deployment. So these are the folders available in the Tomcat. So whenever you download the Tomcat, you can see a bin folder, you can see conf folder, and you can see lib folder, and you can see logs folder is available. You can see temp folder is available. You can see that temp folder is available, and you can see web apps folder is also available. What is the meaning of the web apps folder? Web apps is the very important folder in the Tomcat. Inside the web apps folder only, our applications will be deployed. So this is the folder structure of Tomcat. Tomcat server folder structure. As a DevOps engineer, you are responsible to do the deployment of the applications. So you should know what is a Tomcat and how to deploy the application in the Tomcat and what is the folder structure of the Tomcat. Are you guys clear with my point? Now tell me, to deploy a WAR file, in which folder we need to keep that WAR file in the Tomcat server? Tomcat server is a web server which is going to run the Java web application. Now, developers developed the project source code. Developers pushed the code to the repository. Now you are going to clone the code from the repository, and you have to package that project as a WAR file. You need to package that project as a WAR file. Okay. Now, once you package that project as a WAR file, that WAR file you are going to keep in which folder in the Tomcat? Tomcat has to run our project. Our project is available in the WAR file. How you will give the WAR file to the Tomcat now? Where you will keep the WAR file in the Tomcat? The WAR file we are going to keep in the web apps folder. Can I deploy multiple applications in the single server? Can I keep multiple WAR files in the web apps folder? Yes, in one server you can run multiple applications also. They will ask this question in the interview. Can I deploy two applications in the single Tomcat server? Yes, you can do that. Yes, you can do that. Now I have two WAR files. Two WAR files I can keep in the single web apps folder. Then when I run that server, those two WAR files will be deployed. Are you guys able to follow me? Are you guys able to follow me? Come on. Right. So what is the purpose of a bin folder in the Tomcat? Bin folder will contain the commands to start and stop the server. If you are using the Tomcat server in the Windows operating system, then startup.bat file, shutdown.bat file. If you are using the Tomcat server in the Linux operating system, then we have startup.sh file and shutdown.sh file. Conf folder will contain the configuration files. Server.xml file is available. Tomcat users.xml file is available. Whenever you run the Tomcat server, by default it is going to run on the port number 8080. Sir, I don't want to run on the 8080 because tomorrow my Jenkins also is going to run on the 8080. I cannot run two applications with the same port number. Then I need to change the port number. In order to change the port number of the Tomcat, we will go for server.xml. We will go for server.xml. Let me show you. In the conf folder, there is a file called server.xml. Let's go to here, edit this file. Let's go to here, edit this file. Can you see server port number? Connector port number will be available. What is the port number it is using, guys? What is the default connector port number? HTTP port number for Tomcat. What is the default port number? 8080. Can we change this port number? Can we change this port number? In which file we need to change the Tomcat port number? Server.xml. This is also a interview question. How to change the port number of the Tomcat server? There is a file called server.xml. Where that server.xml is available? Inside the Tomcat conf folder, we have conf folder, nothing but configuration folder. Server.xml file is available. Okay. Now lib folder. Lib folder contains the libraries of the Tomcat. All the jars which are required to run the Tomcat, those jars are available in the lib folder. We are not going to do anything with the lib folder. Logs, how the server started, how the server running, how the server stopped, everything will be tracked. Server execution details will be created in the logs. Logs folder is available. Temp, nothing but temporary file. You can delete the files in the temp folder. Temporary data. Web apps folder, this is called as a deployment folder. Web apps folder contains the WAR files in this. We will keep application WAR files in this folder. This is called as a deployments folder in the Tomcat. This is called as deployments folder in Tomcat. This is called as deployments folder in the Tomcat. Why? Because if you keep the WAR file in this folder, then that means application will be deployed in the Tomcat server. This is called as deployment folder in the Tomcat. Guys, are you able to understand what is the Tomcat and what is the folder structure of the Tomcat? What is the Tomcat and what is the folder structure of the Tomcat? Are you able to understand this? Okay. Apache Tomcat is a web server. Apache Tomcat is used to run Java web applications. Apache Tomcat is free and open source. Apache Tomcat runs on 8080 port by default. If we can change that also. we can change that, we can change that port, we can change that port. Now Apache Tomcat folder structure, Apache Tomcat folder structure. We know what is the folder structure of the Apache Tomcat. Bin folder, conf folder, lib folder, logs folder, temp folder, and the next one, web apps folder. Tell me, in which folder we need to keep our war file to deploy? Which folder is called as a deployment folder in the Tomcat? Web apps folder is called as a deployment folder. So now we will keep war file, we will keep war file in web apps folder for deployment, for deployment. Can we deploy multiple war files in a single server? Yes, you can do that, but that is not recommended. Deploying multiple war files in a single server is not recommended, but it is possible. We can do that deployment. Okay, now it contains commands to start and stop Tomcat server. It contains configuration files. It contains configuration files. It contains libraries. It contains libraries, nothing but jar files. Libraries, nothing but jar files. It contains log files. It contains server logs. Server logs. Temp files will be created here. We can delete them. Temp files will be created here. Temp files will be created here. We can delete them. We can delete them. Now, web apps. This is called as deployment folder. This is called as deployment folder. We will keep the war file in the web apps folder only for deployment. We can deploy multiple web war files in the single server. That's also possible. They may ask the question in the interview. Okay. Now in the Windows, you no need to do anything, guys. Just you need to download the server and you need to start the server and you need to deploy. But in the real time, are we going to deploy the applications in the Windows operating system, or we are going to deploy the applications in the Linux operating system? In the Linux operating system. Now we need to practice the Tomcat in the Windows, or we need to practice the Tomcat in the Linux. We need to practice the Tomcat in the Windows, or we need to practice the Tomcat in the Linux. We need to practice the Tomcat in the Linux. Okay, working with Apache Tomcat in the Linux. I have given the steps here clearly. Login into AWS Management Console. Create EC2 instance or virtual machine using Amazon Linux OS, Amazon Linux AMI. I'm going to use connect to EC2 instance using Mobile Extreme. Once you connected to that Mobile Extreme, then install the Java software using the below command. So now Apache Tomcat is a web server which is used to run the Java application. So first of all, you need to install the Java. First of all, you need to install the Java. First, you need to install the Java. Then you need to install the Tomcat. Then we need to deploy the application. Let me go to my AWS Management Console. Let me go to my AWS Management Console. Sign in into the console. Sign in into the console. Next, password. Password. Okay. Now go to instances, EC2 instances. Currently, no instance is running. Now I am going to create one EC2 instance. Okay. Now I am, guys, observe carefully. Here I am selecting the instance with Amazon Linux. In the given document, I have given Ubuntu, but here I am going to select Amazon Linux. Here I am going to select Amazon Linux. Click on select T2 micro, configure instance details. By default, whatever the values are coming, I'm going with that. Storage by default 8 GB. Tags, nothing. Security groups. Now here by default SSH TCP22 port range will come as a security group. Okay, go with that. Review and launch Amazon Linux, launch it. Key pair, we have that key pair already. Select that, click on launch instance. Click on launch instance. My instance is launched now. Let me give the name for the instance. Let me give the name as dev VM. Dev VM. I'm giving the name as a dev VM. My instance is getting launched now. My instance is getting launched now. Once this instance is launched, it will generate a public IP generated for this instance. Now, I will connect to this instance. This is my virtual machine I have created by using EC2 service in the AWS. Now I am going to connect with this EC2 instance by using mobile extern software. Once I connected to this instance by using mobile extern, then I will download the Java, then I will download the Tomcat, then I will deploy my application using Tomcat. Okay, I have launched one EC2 instance in the AWS cloud. Let me take the public IP of this. Now go to mobile extern software, which is used to connect with the Linux virtual machine, which is running in the AWS cloud. Now let me create one new session. Let me create one new session. SSH session, remote host public IP. Username of that instance is EC2-user. Advanced SSH settings, I'm using private key. That is the key which we have selected to connect with the EC2 securely. Click on OK. Fine, check it. Are we able to connect with the EC2? Who am I? I'm a EC2 user. What is my present working directory? /home/EC2 user. Clear that. Fine. Now let's check Java version. Currently, Java is available in the EC2. Java is not available in the EC2. Guys, Java is available in the EC2. Java is not available in the EC2. Java is not available in the EC2. Are you guys clear with this? I have just logged in into people are feeling that I'm going fast, huh? No, guys, I'm not going fast. Log in into AWS Management Console. I have created a EC2 instance. I logged in into AWS console. I created a EC2 instance. I connected to EC2 instance using mobile extern. Connect to EC2 instance using mobile extern or putty. Anything is fine. If you go for putty, you need to convert that PEM file to PPK file. So that's why I'm directly going with the mobile extern. Right. Once I have connected to this EC2 instance by using mobile extern, I'm checking Java is available in my machine or not. Java version. Java version I have executed. Do I have Java installed in my machine or Java is not installed in my virtual machine? Java is not installed in my virtual machine. I want to install the Java. To install the Java, you can use this command sudo yum install Java 1.8 OpenJDK. I'm installing Java 1.8 version in my system. Execute it. Now, it installing Java is asking, is this okay? Yes. Java 1.8 version is installing in my Linux machine. Java 1.8 is getting installed in my Linux machine. Check this. Yes, finally, Java installation got completed successfully. Can we check the version of the Java? Java version OpenJDK 1.8. Now, so are you able to understand how to install the Java in the Linux and how to check the version of the Java in the Linux? This command, I have given the steps clearly, guys. So I will give this document. You can follow the document for the practice. Install the Java software by using this command. Once the Java is installed, you can check the version of the Java by using Java-version. For example, in this Linux, if you have multiple versions of the Java, then you can choose the version of the Java that you want to use. Alternatives space --config space Java execute. It is showing currently how many Java versions available in my machine. Only one. If you have two versions, it will display the two versions, selection 1, selection 2. You can choose which version of Java you want to use. Currently, I want to use only one version. By using the root permissions, you can select the version of the Java. Are you guys clear with my point? If you connect as a root user, then you can choose the version of the Java. So when you need to choose that Java version, when you have multiple versions of Java installed in the same machine. But currently in my machine only one version of the Java is available, so I no need to do anything else. Fine. So with this, what I have completed, I have taken one virtual machine. In that virtual machine, I have installed Java software. I have taken one virtual machine. I have installed Java software, Java space hyphen version, Java 1.8 version installed in my Linux machine. This Linux machine is created in the AWS cloud by using EC2 service, Elastic Compute Cloud Service. Very good. Once this Java software installed in the Linux machine, now we need to download Tomcat server in the Linux. We need to download the Tomcat server in the Linux. Before going to do that download, can you list out the files in this? In the current, what is my present working directory? Present working directory is slash home slash ec2 user. How to list down the files in the present working directory? ls-l. Do we have any files in the EC2 user directory? Do I have any files in the EC2 user directory? Currently, I don't have any files in the EC2 user directory. Now I want to download the Tomcat server. Now, in order to download the Tomcat server, I have given the URL of the Tomcat server downloads page. Okay, go to this URL, click on this. Now, this is the URL which will give you Tomcat's downloads folder. Okay, Tomcat 9 downloads, Tomcat 9, Tomcat 8, 9, 10 versions are available. I'm downloading the stable version of the Tomcat, which is a Tomcat 9. I'm going to download Tomcat 9. Are you guys able to access the downloads page of the Tomcat? I have given the link in the chat box. Are you guys able to access that? Are you guys able to access that? Okay. Guys, observe carefully. In order to download the Tomcat, we are going to use the tar file. In the Windows, we are going to use the zip file. In the Linux, I'm going to use this tar file. Now, right click on this, copy the link address. I want to copy the link address. Now see here, we can find the Tomcat URLs download in the official website downloads page. This is the above URL. Copy the URL of the tar file and execute below command in the Linux machine. wget space Tomcat URL. Tomcat tar file URL. Tomcat tar file URL. See here, this is the tar file. Don't click on it, it will download. I want to copy this. Right click on this tar file, copy link address. Once you copy the link address, then you will get that URL. Okay, this is the URL of that. This is the URL of that. Okay, now once you have copied that URL, once you have copied that URL, now you need to execute wget of this URL. What is the purpose of wget in the Linux? Which is used to download the file from the given URL. Click on it. It is downloaded. Now check it. ls-l. Can you see Apache Tomcat 9.0 tar file got downloaded? Can you see the tar file got downloaded now? How I have downloaded the Tomcat in my Linux? Which command I use to download the Tomcat in my Linux? wget command. What is the input for the wget command? Wget space URL. From where I got this URL? I copied the URL from the Tomcat official website. Tar file is available. Right click on this, copy link address. Then I have executed wget space that URL. it downloaded that Tomcat. How can I check this file is downloaded or not? ls-l. Yes, I can see Tomcat tar file is downloaded. Now I need to extract that tar file. How to extract the tar file? Tar command is available. In the Linux, we have a tar command in order to extract that file. So what is the command? Tar space -xvf space Apache tar file name. What is the file name we have? That file we need to give as the input for the tar command. Tar space -xvf space tar file. Now execute. Wow. It extracted that tar file. It extracted the tar file ls-l. Now can you see tar file is available and the extracted directory is also available. Can you see that one is blue color, one is orange color. One is blue color, another one is orange color. What is the difference between this blue color and orange color? What is the difference between blue color and orange color? Come on, guys. What is the difference between blue color and orange color? Orange color is a file, blue color is a directory. One is a tar file, another one is extracted directory. Okay, now let me go inside that Tomcat folder. That is a directory. I have extracted that. So before going to do that, can you understand how I have downloaded the Tomcat in the Linux and how I have extracted that tar file? Are you clear with this? Are you clear with this? How I have downloaded the Tomcat in the Linux? Official website of Tomcat is available. Here tar file is available. Right click on the tar file, copy link address. W get space that tar file URL. It is going to download that file from the internet into our Linux machine. It is downloading the tar file. That tar file we are extracting by using this tar command. Tar space -xvf. That tar file got downloaded. Go inside the Tomcat folder and see the folder structure. Now Tomcat is downloaded, right? CD space Apache Tomcat folder. I am inside that folder ls-l. Can you see all these folders now? Bin folder, conf folder, lib folder, logs folder, temp folder, web apps folder, work folder. Work folder doesn't have anything, man. Can you see the same things are available in the Linux also? Can you see the same things are available in the Linux also? Whatever the folders are available in the Windows, same thing is available in the Linux also. Bin is available here, bin is available here, conf available here, conf available here, lib available, lib available, logs available, logs available, temp available, temp available, web apps available, web apps available, work available, work available. Can you see all the folders are available in the Tomcat? Can you see all the folders available in the Tomcat now? Come on. Now I want to start the Tomcat server in the Linux. Do you know how to start the Tomcat server in the Linux? Where is the command to run the Tomcat server? Startup.sh. Where it is available? In the bin folder. Can I go inside the bin folder? CD space bin folder. How to run a script file? /startup.sh. /startup.sh. Now what it is telling now? Tomcat started or not? Tomcat started or not? Come on, guys. Am I able to start my Tomcat in the Linux? Am I able to start the Tomcat in the Linux? Okay. Can I access the Tomcat server from my browser now? Can I access the Tomcat server from my browser? What is the default port number of the Tomcat? What is the default port number of the Tomcat? 8080. Tomcat is running in my Windows machine. Tomcat is running in the EC2 machine. Tomcat is running in the Windows machine. Tomcat is running in the EC2 instance. EC2 instance. Take the EC2 instance IP address. Take the EC2 instance IP address. IP:8080. Successful or failure? Am I able to access the Tomcat server? Am I able to access the Tomcat server or not? No. Can you guess what is the reason? Security group, port number. Tomcat running on which port number now? Tomcat running on which port number now? 8080, HTTP 8080. So now for my EC2 instance, did I enable 8080? Did I configure to allow 8080 in the security group? No, I have not configured that. I have not enabled that. I have not enabled that. Now go to this EC2 instance security group ID, inbound rules. Which protocol we are accepting now? Which port number we enabled? Only 22 port number we enabled. SSH protocol we enabled. Tomcat is running on which port number? 8080. Add the rule custom TCP port number as 8080. Anybody should be able to access my Tomcat server. Anywhere, anybody can access. I am allowing 8080 port number for my EC2. Network can come from anywhere. All IP addresses are allowed. Save the rules. Now go here and refresh. Oh, am I able to access the Tomcat server which is running in the Linux machine? This is the IP of my EC2. In that EC2 machine, Tomcat server running on the port number 8080, I'm able to access that. Now, can you access my Tomcat dashboard? Can you access my Tomcat dashboard? Come on, guys. Are you able to access the Tomcat dashboard? Are you able to access the Tomcat dashboard? Yes or no? Yes. Now see here. First I have logged in into, I'm repeating the steps carefully, understand, concentrate now. It's very, very important. I logged in into AWS Management Console. I logged in into AWS Management Console. I have created one EC2 instance by using Amazon Linux AMI. Then I connected to EC2 instance using MobiXterm. Okay. Once I connected to that EC2 instance using MobiXterm, then what I have done is I have installed Java 1.8 version in the EC2. Java software is required, right? Once I have installed that Java using this command, then I have checked which version of the Java installed by using this java-version command. Which version of the Java? I have verified that we have one version only. If you have multiple versions of the Java, you can choose the particular Java version by using this command. You need to have the root user permission to do this switching. Okay. Suppose in my system, Java 8 is available and Java 11 is available. I want to run my application with the Java 8. Then you can configure that Java 1.8 version by using this command. We can download Apache Tomcat once you have configured this. Once you have configured the version, then we can download the Tomcat server in our Linux machine. To download the Tomcat server in the Linux machine, we are going to use this URL. Okay. So this is the official URL of the Tomcat. This is the official URL of the Tomcat where you can find out Tomcat downloads link. Now I want to download the Tomcat 9 version tar file. So go to this tar file, right click, not the documentation guys. I'm taking binary distribution core tar file. Now under core, I have taken the tar file, right click on this tar file, copy link address. Now I got that link. So I got that link. Once I got that link, then I'm going to take wget space tar file URL, which is going to download the Tomcat into my Linux. Once the tar file is downloaded, I'm using tar command to extract it. The tar file is available, so I'm using the tar command to extract it. Once I have extracted that tar file, then I am able to see the Tomcat folder. Then I have navigated it to the Tomcat folder by using cd space Tomcat folder. I have navigated to Tomcat folder. Once I navigated to Tomcat folder, I'm able to see the folder structure of the Tomcat by using ls command. Bin folder, conf folder, logs folder, temp folder, web apps folder, all the folders are available. I'm able to see the folder structure of the Tomcat in the Linux by using this command. Once it is done, then I want to start the Tomcat server. What is the default port number of the Tomcat? Tomcat will run on the port number 8080. So now 2020. Bhuvaneshwar Reddy, what happened to you, man? Are you all right? Right? Tomcat will run on the 2020. You are saying that. It's too bad, man. Now, so we are going inside the Tomcat folder and we are able to see that. Fine. Once it is done, once the folder structure is verified, now I want to run the Tomcat server. In which folder we have the command to run the Tomcat server? How to run the Tomcat server? Which command I need to use the Tomcat? Bin folder. Inside the bin we have a startup.sh file. So I have given the commands very clearly. cd space bin, then execute /startup.sh. /startup.sh means it is going to run the Tomcat server. Tomcat server runs on 8080 port by default. Enable this port in the security group as custom TCP. Now I have enabled that in the security groups. You see here, inside the security groups I have enabled. Type I have given as a custom TCP. Protocol is coming as a TCP. Port range I have given as a 8080. Source I have given as a custom. All the IPs I'm accessing. This is the security group protocol we need to enable. Once that configuration is done in the security group, then we can access that Tomcat server in our browser. In order to access the Tomcat server in our browser, this is the URL: http://ec2vm public IP, ec2vm public IP colon 8080 /. Now go to here, EC2 instance, go to our EC2 instance, see what is the IP of our EC2 public IP. This is the public IP of the EC2. Now public IP of the EC2 colon 8080 /. Perfect. We are able to access the Tomcat server which is running in the Linux machine. Are you guys clear up to now? Are you guys clear up to now? Is this document is clear? Is this document is clear step by step? Is this document is clear step by step? How to install the Java, how to check the version of the Java, how to switch the Java version, from where you need to download the Tomcat server, how to take the tar file URL, how to download the Tomcat in the Linux using wget command, how to extract that tar file in the Linux, how to see the folder structure of the Linux, how to start the Tomcat server, how to enable the 8080 port in the security group, how to access the Tomcat server in the browser. Everything I have given step by step in the document. Okay. Is this clear for everybody? Shall I move on to next topic? Shall I move on to next topic now? It's dead easy. It's dead easy. Very good. Now, guys, my Tomcat server is started. My Tomcat server started. I want to deploy one web application. How the Java web applications will be deployed? In which format Java web applications will be deployed? Can you tell me? In which format Java web applications will be deployed? In the form of WAR file. What is the deployment folder in the Tomcat server? What is the deployment folder in the Tomcat server? Web apps. What is the format of deploying the web application in the Tomcat? WAR file. Okay. Do you know how to create a WAR file for the web application? Do you know how to create a WAR file for the web application? Yes or no? Yes. Now, guys, already we have practiced the Maven projects creation. Maven build tool. Yes. Previously, we created a web application. Form.xml file is available. In this web application SRC main resources, SRC main web app, there is a index.jsp. I have modified the index.jsp to display some content. It will display welcome to Ashok IT, our institute name, our institute slogan, one hyperlink will be displayed. I have done some changes in the index.jsp. I have given that change also, guys. Don't worry. We have a Maven web application that pom.xml is available. Can you tell me how to package Maven web application? What is the goal which is used to create the war file? I have a Maven project. I have modified the index.jsp. That's fine. How to package this war file? How to package this Maven project? What is the goal I need to use? What is the goal? MVN space clean package. MVN clean package. Clean means target folder will be deleted. Package means it is going to package the war file. Build success. Now go to Maven target. Can you see war file created just now? 2137, 31 May 2137, nothing but at 9:37 IST, my war file is generated. Do I have war file ready to deploy in the Tomcat? Do I have war file ready to deploy in the Tomcat? Come on. Do I have war file ready to deploy in the Tomcat? Yes. I have a war file to deploy in the Tomcat. Now go to this is called Tomcat admin dashboard. Okay. Here there is a button called server status, another button called manager app, another button called host manager. Guys, there is a small problem. Observe carefully here. I am trying to click on server status. What happened? What happened? When I clicked on server status, what happened? Is it allowing me to access that? Or it is saying 403 access denied? Access denied. Huh. Is it allowing me to deploy my application, or it is saying that access denied? Is it allowing me to deploy my application, or it is saying that access denied? Access denied. Can anyone guess what is the reason? Can anyone guess what is the reason? Now tell me where I am accessing Tomcat admin dashboard. No. Where the Tomcat is running? Can you tell me? Where is my Tomcat server running? Can I say this is my AWS EC2? Can I say this is my AWS EC2 VM? In this VM, can I say that my Tomcat is running? Can I say that my Tomcat is running in the AWS EC2? Okay. Now, server is running there. From where I am accessing the Tomcat dashboard, can I say it is my laptop? From my laptop, I am using a browser. In my laptop, I am using a Google Chrome browser. From this browser, I am trying to access, from this browser, I'm trying to access Tomcat server admin dashboard. Is this what I'm doing or not? I'm running the Tomcat server in the AWS EC2. I'm trying to access that admin Tomcat homepage I have accessed. Tomcat homepage I have accessed. Up to homepage, it is okay. It is allowing me. Up to homepage, it is allowing me. I'm able to access up to homepage. But when I click on any button, it is saying that it is denied. The reason is in which system the Tomcat server is running, in the same system you can do the deployment by default. Are you guys able to understand the default behavior of the Tomcat? Now Tomcat is running in AWS EC2 instance. When the Tomcat is running in the EC2 instance, only in that EC2 instance you can perform admin operations of the Tomcat. But actually, where I am trying to do that activity, I am trying to do the deployment activity from my laptop, but Tomcat is running in the AWS cloud system. I am trying to do the deployment from my laptop. By default, Tomcat will not allow that. That is the restriction available in the Tomcat. Are you guys able to understand this? Are you guys able to understand this? Why I'm getting this problem when I click on server status button? When I click on manager app, it is denying. When I click on host manager, it is denying. When I click on server status, it is denying. All the three options are denied for me. Why? From which system I am trying to access those buttons? From which system I am clicking on that button? I am clicking on the button from my laptop. But actually, where is the Tomcat is running? Tomcat is running in the AWS EC2 virtual machine. Is it possible to perform the admin activities on the Tomcat from my laptop directly? Is the Tomcat allowing me to do that activity? It is not allowing me. There is a restriction. There is a restriction. Can we remove the restriction from the Tomcat so that I can access that? Can I edit that permission? Can I edit that permission? Come on. Can I edit that permission? Can you tell me what is the permission available now? What is the restriction available in the Tomcat now? What is the restriction available in the Tomcat now? In which machine the Tomcat is running, in the same machine, you can do the admin activity. But from another machine, you cannot do the admin activity. Now I want to enable that permission so that from my laptop also I can perform admin activity. That's where there is a small change that we need to do in the context.xml file. I have given the reason also. By default, the host manager is only accessible from a browser running on the same machine as the Tomcat. In which machine the Tomcat is running, from the same machine browser you can perform the admin activity. In which machine your Tomcat server is running, from the same machine browser you can perform the admin activity. But here I am trying to perform the activity from the another machine browser which is not supported by the Tomcat. Why it is not supported? In the Tomcat they configured that rule in a file called context.xml. Inside the Tomcat, there is a web apps folder. Inside the web apps folder, there is a manager folder. In the manager, there is a meta-inf folder. In the meta-inf, there is a context.xml. In that file, they configured that rule in which machine the Tomcat is running. From the same machine browser, you can perform the admin activity. But actually, I am trying to perform the activity from a different machine browser. From my laptop, I am trying to perform that activity, which is not allowing by the Tomcat. That's why when I click on this button, I'm getting denied request, denied response. Now, if I want to enable that, what should I do now? I should go to context.xml. Let me go to context.xml. In which location that context.xml is available? Inside the Tomcat, we have a web apps folder. Inside the web apps, we have a manager folder. Inside the manager, we have meta-inf. Inside the meta-inf, we have a context.xml. Chalo, let's go to that location. Let's go to that location. Go to mobile extrum. Where is our mobile extrum? इसको बंद करो. Now, this is my mobile extrum. Come out. Currently, I am in which folder, guys? What is my present working directory? Apache Tomcat. CD space web apps. CD space manager. CD space meta-inf. Inside the meta-inf, ls-l. Can you see a file called context.xml? Can you see a file context.xml now? Where that file is available? What is my present working directory? Inside the Tomcat, we have a web apps. Inside the web apps, we have a manager. Inside the manager, we have a meta-inf. Now, context.xml. Can we edit that context.xml in the Linux? Do you know editor in the Linux? Do you know editor in the Linux? What is the editor? VI. VI context.xml. I'm going to edit. Wow. Can you see this configuration in the context.xml? Here, there is a configuration in the value tag. Can you see a tag called value tag? Can remote address value. That means who can do that manager activities in the Tomcat that is configured by using value. Here, can you see value class name is equal to remote address value 127.d/00/1. That means 127 local host. Within the same machine, it is going to allow. If any request comes from the same machine browser, it is going to allow. This is the rule. Now, I want to allow everybody now. I want to allow everybody. Go to insert mode. Go to insert mode. I will remove everything from this allow. I will configure dot star. I will configure dot star. If I configure dot star, then what will happen? Everybody can do the admin activity. Everybody can do the admin activity. By default, what is the restriction in the context.xml? Same machine request is accepted. Other machine request is not accepted. Now I am configuring dot star. Okay, sir, I don't want to allow everybody. I want to configure only my machine IP. My machine will have some IP address, right? 192.168.5.1. That is my IP. Can I configure only this IP in the value address? Can I configure only this IP in the value address? If I configure this IP, then what will happen? If I configure that IP in the value, then what will happen? Only from my system I can do the admin activity. Understood? Okay. Now, currently I'm doing dot star. Okay. Now, save it, WQ configured. Now, can you see vi context.xml? What is the configuration available for allow? What is the configuration available for allow? Dot star. What is the meaning of dot star? What is the meaning of dot star? All. Everybody can access it. Now, I have given here. By default, host manager is only accessible from a browser running on the same machine as Tomcat. If you wish to modify this restriction, you will need to edit the host manager context.xml, that file location, web apps manager meta-inf context.xml, go to this location, edit that file, make the change like this. In manager context.xml file, change value section like below. Allow attribute value changed. I changed it the allow attribute value to dot star. That's it. Earlier there is some IP range here. Now I configured as a dot star so that everybody can access. Then I have saved it. I have saved it. Okay, that is fine. Let me come out. CD space dot dot dot. Now I am in the Tomcat folder. Very good. Next, for this Tomcat, we need to configure some users. So these are the users we need to add in the Tomcat. Add the Tomcat users in the Tomcat conf Tomcat users.xml file like below. Now we enabled admin activity. There should be some username password for the admin activity, right? We need to secure that. For that, we are going to configure these things in the tomcat-users.xml. What is the username and password to perform the admin activity? So user role and user credentials we are going to configure in the conf folder. CD space conf ls-l. Check the conf folder ls-l. Can you see a file with a name called tomcat-users.xml? Can you see a file with a name called tomcat-users.xml, which is used to configure credentials for the Tomcat users? Now, how to edit that file? Vi tomcat-users.xml. Edit it. Okay, now scroll down. Tomcat users. Tomcat users section started here, guys. See, here Tomcat users section started. That section ended here. Currently, usernames and roles are not configured in the Tomcat Tomcat. Now let's edit it. Edit it. I am going to configure that here. Now I have given some empty space here. I'm going to configure these rules. Role manager GUI. Username is the Tomcat. Password is the Tomcat. Password is the Tomcat. Role name is the admin GUI. Username is admin. Password is also admin. Roles for admin user, I'm giving manager GUI role, admin GUI role. Now let me copy these roles. Right click, paste. Okay. Now can you see? I have configured. I have configured. I have configured users. I have configured users. Okay. Now vi tomcat-users.xml. vi tomcat-users.xml. Now, can you see that roles are roles configured, users configured? What is the username I have given? Admin. Password also admin. Very good. Now quit. With this, we are done. Two changes I have done in the configuration files, guys. First, to perform the deployment activity, I configured allow value as a dot star in this location. Then I have added Tomcat users in the Tomcat conf in tomcat/conf/tomcat users.xml file like below. Tomcat folder /conf folder Tomcat users.xml. I already told you that conf folder contains the configuration files Tomcat users.xml. I have done this. I have done this. Now, once we have done all these changes, let's stop the Tomcat server. cd space bin shutdown.sh Tomcat server stopped. Tomcat server stopped. Now start it. Startup.sh Tomcat server started. Now refresh. Are we able to access the Tomcat now? Are we able to access the Tomcat now? Click on server status, asking username and password. Admin is the username, admin is the password. Sign in. Okay. Am I able to access the server status? List applications. So these are the applications available by default. Now I want to deploy my war file. My war file is created, Maven web app war file is created in the target folder. Inside the target folder, Maven war file is created. So do you know how to generate a war file for the Maven web application? MVN clean package. Delete the existing target folder, then do the package of the project. Build success. Build success. Now inside the target, my war file is created. Can I deploy the war file into Tomcat server from this admin panel? Can I deploy the war file into Tomcat server using this admin panel? Manual deployment. Now I am doing automated deployment or I am doing a manual deployment now? Manual deployment. Where is the Tomcat server running? Where is my Tomcat server running? On AWS. Where I am accessing the admin panel? Where I am accessing the admin panel? On Windows laptop. By default, can I access the admin panel in the Windows? No. I have done some configuration. Where I have done the configuration? Context.xml. I configured value allow as a dot star. It is going to allow everything. We can configure particular IP also. Only my machine can access that admin panel. Then where I configure the Tomcat users? Where I configure the Tomcat users? Where I have configured the Tomcat users? Tomcat-users.xml. Where the Tomcat users.xml file available? In the conf folder. These are the roles and users I have configured. Then restart the server, stop the Tomcat server and start it. Stop the Tomcat server and start it. Now my Tomcat server started. I am able to access the admin panel. Then I'm able to click on the list applications. Can you see what are the applications that are currently running? docs folder is available, examples folder is available, host manager available, manager is available. Do I have Maven application deployed in the server? Do I have Maven application deployed in the server? Maven application not deployed in the server? Maven application deployed in the server? Maven application not deployed in the server? Maven application not deployed. Now, Maven application having a war file, where the war file is created, in which folder the project war file is available? In the target folder. Can I deploy the war file into Tomcat server? Can I deploy the war file into Tomcat server? Very good. From this admin dashboard, we can do that. Guys, come down. Here, can you see war file to deploy? Can you see war file to deploy? Choose the war file. Go to our project 01 DevOps build tool Maven web app target war file. I have selected. Click on deploy. Successful. Project deployment is completed. Can you see Maven war file is deployed? Can you see Maven war file is deployed in the Tomcat now? Click on this. Click on this URL. Wow. My application is running. My application is deployed in the Tomcat server, which is running in the AWS cloud. Can you click on that URL? Can you click on that URL? Are you able to access my application? Maven web application. Where is that Maven web application running? Where is that Maven web application running? Tomcat server. Who is running my web application now? Who is running my web application? Tomcat server. Where is the Tomcat server? Where is the Tomcat server? AWS EC2. Now public users can access my application. Can public users access my application? This is called deployment process. Who will do this deployment process in the company? Who will do this deployment process in the company? DevOps engineers. Now I have done manual deployment, or I have done automated deployment. I have done manual deployment, or I have done automated deployment. Manual deployment. I have created the war file. I have created the Tomcat server. I have deployed that manually from the admin dashboard. But in the industry currently, people are doing these manual deployments. No, people are doing what? Automated deployment. Which is software is used to automate this deployment process now? Jenkins. So before going to start the Jenkins, can you practice this manual deployment in the Tomcat server in the AWS cloud? Today's session is damn important. Everything is documented, guys. Everything is documented. Everything is documented. Okay. HTTPD is for the static websites, guys, not for the dynamic applications. Akshay Patil. HTTPD servers are only for the static websites, not for the dynamic. Now, if you want to go for the dynamic, then we need to go for Apache Tomcat only. We need to go for Apache Tomcat only. Are you guys clear with today's concept now? So I have given the steps how to modify context.xml and how to add the users in the Tomcat. Then if you want to, tomorrow I will show you how to change the port number. For today, you no need to change the port number also. Right now, create a Maven application, then edit the index.jsp file. In the Maven application, we have already learned what is Maven. In the Maven, we have a web app folder. In the web app folder, we have index.jsp. You can edit the index.jsp and you can configure like this. Once it is done, package the Maven application using clean package goal. Then go to Tomcat server admin dashboard, click on manager app, select the WAR file to upload and click on the deployment button. WAR file will be deployed and it will display in the applications. Click on the application path. It will open the application in the browser. Once you are able to see the application in the browser like this, then you stop your Apache Tomcat server. Then you stop your EC2 instance. So that is what you need to do. Now, Harsha Reddy, what is your doubt, sir? Mr. Harsha Reddy, can you unmute your mic?
Hello.
Yeah, hi, sir. Tell me.
Sir, but I'm unable to run the Tomcat because I'm having some other application running with the same port number 8080 Jenkins.
You are running, you want to run that in the Linux only, right?
Yeah, in the same Linux VM.
Okay, yeah, I told you that. Yes, yeah, fine, sir, no problem. So then what you need to do is, there is a file called server.xml file. In that server.xml file, you need to change the port number.
I did change the port number to 9090, sir.
Yeah, once you did that port number change 9090, then you need to enable that in the security group.
Yeah, I did that as well, sir, but it's not happening.
One second, let me show you now. Here, my Tomcat server is running, right? Yeah. Currently, you are able to access my Tomcat application. It is running in the cloud. It is running on the 8080 port number. Yes. Now, let me stop that. Shutdown.sh. My Tomcat is stopped now. I came out from that. cd space conf folder. Inside that, ls-l is available. Here, can you see a file with a name called server.xml?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, vi space server.xml. I'm editing that file. Go to insert mode. Let me check it. Where is that port number configured? 8080. Yeah, here you see connector port configured as 8080. Now let me change to 9090. Save it. :WQ. Now it is changed to 9090. Let come out from the conf folder. Let me go to bin folder. .startup.sh. Now my Tomcat server started on which port number? 9090. Can I directly access my application with 9090?
We need to change the
I cannot access, right? Let me go to EC2. Let me go to security group. Edit this is security group ID. Let me go to inbound rules. Here, instead of 8080, I will configure as 9090. Save the rules. Once it has saved, then click on this. Is it working with 9090 now?
Yes,
you can access it. Earlier it was running on 8080. Now I changed that port number of Tomcat to 9090 in the server.xml. I have given that point also in the document. Okay. We can change the Tomcat server default port in the Tomcat conf server.xml file. When we change Tomcat port number in the server.xml file, then we have to enable that port in the security group, which is associated with our EC2 instance. Okay, got it? So today, the people who are running the Tomcat server to 8080, for today, there is no problem. But tomorrow, when we start the Jenkins also will run on the 8080. Tomcat is using 8080, Jenkins also using 8080. Two applications cannot run on the same port number. So that's why what we will do, Tomcat server port number we are going to change. Where to change that port number of the Tomcat? In the server.xml. I have changed it just now. Whenever you change that port number from 8080 to some other number, then you need to enable that port in the security group, which is associated with our EC2 instance. Got it, Mr. Harsha?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good. You try that once.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Akhil and Giri, what is your questions? What is your question, Mr. Akhil? Mr. Giri?
Hello, sir. I am audible.